This is a pair of vintage travel bags, Pan Am. I found at a garage sale over a year ago. I got them both for just $2. And one of them's got a little spot on it, but otherwise they're in pretty good shape. And I got an offer from a movie prop company in New York for $60. I had them originally priced at $100, but after having them that long, I let them go. This is a set of 3 Federal glass refrigerator dishes. You got the vegetables embossed on them. And these were in a box lot at an auction that I just kind of walked up to the table. I saw them quick. Nobody was bidding on the whole box. And I got them for $3, I believe, or $2.50. There's some other goodies in that box as well, but I just put these up for sale yesterday and they sold right away for $30. This is another professionally built model, Mustang Cobra 2. Very exquisite detail. I believe that's silver foil they use for the chrome trim. And this one still has the original box, and it sold for $140. This is a vintage Pilot receiver amplifier. Pilot was a very well-known, respected name brand back in the 50s and 60s when they were making tube amplifiers. A lot of them were made for consoles, stereo consoles. This is a solid state, probably from the early 70s. And although it's in great shape, it took well over a year to sell, and I took a best offer of $120 for it. I found it at a garage sale. The guy had some speakers out front, and I asked him if he had anything else, and he took me in a back room and ended up buying 3 amplifiers for $100 from him. This one cleaned up real nice, but again, it took over a year to sell. Just not as widely known as your Sansuis and Pioneers, but still got $120 for it. This is the vintage Misabi hat, part of the Duluth Iron Range Railway. Pretty good shape, and this sold for $30. This is a brass tone metal lamp with a lily pad base, and the tulip glass shade I actually found after I picked up this lamp. I think the lamp just came in a box lot along with some other things, and then I was at a garage sale and somebody had a pair of these glass lampshades for a couple dollars, and I thought, well, maybe it'll fit that lamp, and sure enough it did. And the combination sold for $40. This is a still new old stock weather strip for the trunk of a Mustang 2. The box is already opened, and I listed it that way, and it still sold for $100. Another 5-pack of the 110 film sold for $25. I'm down to 4 of these 5-packs left, and then about 9 singles. So this has been a pretty good buy for, I think it was $5 for all of them. And they seem to sell about once a week, at least. This is an old Peter Rabbit rummy storyboard kind of card game. It was in great shape. It was just in the bottom of a box lot, so I thought I'd try it out at $12. Took almost a year, but finally sold. These operating instructions for a vintage cassette player dates to probably the early 60s, as National was the parent company of Panasonic, and for a while they shared their name back in the early 60s. And this I sold to a gentleman in Germany, and he made a best offer of $16. I had it priced at $20. This is one of those, what the hell is this, at the bottom of my box lot. Well, it turns out it's an egg scale made by the Oaks Manufacturing Company of Tipton, Indiana. You can adjust the little weight here with your egg sitting in here. Apparently it was used, they would set it up and an egg had to balance that, or else it was tossed into the not for sale basket of eggs at the farm. And I just put this up last week. It sold for $18. Over the summer I bought a Kenwood stereo amplifier, and this owner's manual came with it. And I still haven't gotten around to going through the amplifier yet, but I got it for $5, and I just sold the manual by itself for $20. Another built plastic model from the collection. This is a 1962 Dodge Dart 2-door coupe. Nicely done. And this sold for $70. This is a U.S. Marshal patch, like a shoulder patch, from South Dakota. And I found this at an estate sale here in Sioux Falls. And there was a bag of like 5 of these, and I got them for, I believe I paid $10 for the bag. But this was over the summer, and they just kind of sat unsold at 20 bucks a piece. Finally, somebody bought one, but when I looked at who bought it, I was just a bit apprehensive. It's going to a P.O. box in Pierre, South Dakota, which is the capital. I'm wondering, are these things legal to sell? I don't know. But obviously, it's never been worn. And if somebody's willing to spend 20 bucks, perhaps it's just a U.S. Marshal who needs a patch. This is a vintage hat because the NSP, Northern States Power, is no longer business. It's now XL Energy. And this is from the Prairie Island Nuclear Power Plant. Outage team member. Kind of a cool hat that I found about a year ago. It's almost like new, and I thought it would sell right away even at my $30 asking price. But it did take almost a year to sell, but I got the full price for it. This is one of those pre-cup holder travel coffee cups. No tip. Won't slosh out. It's got a rubber bottom so it doesn't slide. And I used to do quite well with these, selling them all the time for 20 bucks. But that market has dropped off considerably. I've had this for over a year, and this one is even a little more special. It's an NRA embossed on there. And this finally sold for $20. Another one of these little 1/64 scale die-cast model cars sold. It's the Mustang 2 Ghia. This is a, you can read it there, Tomica. And got a whole bunch of these. I've only put a few up for sale, but this is like the second or third one to sell. $15. And another 5-pack of 110 film sold. I'm curious as to why I had these for like 6 weeks before I finally made a deal with somebody for, I believe, 5 packs, and I gave them a discount down to $15 each. Now I wish I wouldn't have, because now these have been selling steadily at $25 each. This is a Polaroid one-step close-up camera. Features a sliding lens. You can change from regular to close-up. I did a little test demo video of this, and this was over a year ago. I've had it that long. I had it priced at $30, and I had somebody offer me $15, and I just kind of forgot about that offer, and it expired, and then they came back on their own at $20, and I decided to take that. Another set of these angel chimes sold. I found 2 boxes of these. The other box was a white one, and I think I got $40 for that one. It was a little bit older than this one, but these are the genuine Swedish angel chimes. And this one sold for $21. This is a Pioneer turntable head shell. I acquired this with a bunch of other parts via a Craigslist ad where the guy was advertising some 8-track players just for $20, and I went and looked at them and saw that he had some turntables and stuff, and I inquired about them. He called me a few days later and gave me a great price on 2 turntables and a bag full of parts, he said. And it included lots of head shells and cartridges, which, if you've been watching these videos, know sell quite well. This is just a little plastic head shell. Still sold for $60. This is a pair of tweeters, Jensen speakers. I pulled out of a early 1960s Pilot console that I had to, I probably drove about an hour and a half to go get this console, and I've sold most of the parts out of it, and these speakers were left over, and these went for $30, and they're going to Japan via the global shipping program, so I spent another $32 on shipping. This I Heart Holland trucker hat is probably my favorite sale of the week. Not only because I've had this hat probably 2 years and it finally sold for $25, but it's going to an international buyer, but not Holland. It's going to Norway. Another promotional model sold. This is a 1963 Plymouth Valiant. These little promotional models, you can always tell they're promos by the embossed features of the car on the bottom side. And I got a best offer of $60 for this one. Vintage record stands or holders are always a good seller. And this one, I like this one a lot. And it's funny, I found 2 of these on the same weekend of going to garage sales. $2 a piece. One of them I almost didn't see. It was full of records. And I'm looking through the records, and they're pretty bad records. And then I noticed what they were in, and I asked if I could buy just the stand. So I helped them take all the records out, and he gave me the stand for $2. I was using it for a while, and then I decided to sell one of them, and then I found another one. So they're out there, but try and get them for under $5. Again, this one sold for $90. And they fit nicely in this eBay provided box.